Welcome to part 4 of the tutorial. At this rate, if you've seen the 3 first part, you should have knowledge about waypointing at this rate. And this video is all about how to make good waypoints in certain type of maps and in each games. Some map game mode requires specific type of waypointing places to make RCBot actually play the game correctly. And this will be a tutorial about how to make RCBot playing good in certain maps. We will start with Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, following by Day of the Defeat Source, and lastly with Team Fortress 2, since Team Fortress 2 has a bit too many game modes and maps. So let's get on with it then. For the people who start waypointing for the first time, Half-Life 2 Deathmatch is the best game to try to do that. Since the RCBot in this game doesn't have any goal, this is just a deathmatch, so it's all about just exploring and killing the enemies. So while doing Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, this is a good place to actually learn where to place waypoints and just do whatever you want with them. You can try to do experiments using the special waypoints such as jump and the ladders and any others. The RCBot's behavior doesn't have anything special either for these games. Since it's just a gunfight, they just go explore and find enemies and kill. That's the only thing they do. In Day of Defeat Source, there is 2 game modes, and the first mode is about territorial control. In this game mode, this is about the RCBot that have to capture all of the flags that required in the map. So the capture zone must be placed in every single flag with their proper area types. If you play with auto type on, it should automatically set the area needed for the flags. In Day of Defeat Source, the RCBot doesn't try to capture in order of the flags. They will know that the middle is always a blank, and they have to capture also 2 of the enemy teams. So they either go straight to the middle, or they may also go straight to the last point if needed. So they don't do it in orders. The second game mode with the source are detonations. Detonations requires RCBot to get the bomb and have to plant it on the objective. So meaning, the bomb waypoint is very important with the capture waypoint. The RCBot will first go into the middle or wherever the bomb's location is to collect it, and then they will run to any single possible objective that they can plant the bomb. Which also means RCBot also have the behavior to defuse the bomb if the enemy reach to the C4 before it explodes. These were all the game modes of Day of the Defeat Sources. And now we're going to head back to Team Fortress 2, doing one at a time since there are multiples. Let's start with the Arena and King of the Hill. Since they're both the same way to do the waypoints, I will be putting them together. In Arena mode, the RCBot will be spreading around in the first maybe 30 seconds before the capture point becomes unlocked. They will be going around before doing the actual objective. What's required in Arena and King of the Hill is to have at least a capture waypoint flag on top of the capture point zone. This is all it requires to make the RCBot know how to play. In King of the Hill, the RCBot will go straight away to the capture zone, doesn't need to wait for it. And you can do something special with the King of the Hill. Once a team capture a flag, they will now own it, since the area type is 1, meaning you can add extra objective to the RCBots. Such here, I have put defend area type 1, meaning now that it's their own, they can defend in new areas that require area type 1. Could be the same for the sniper and the sentries or others. So you can make the RCBot that is on the lead be more aggressive and attack the enemy teams. This section is about the capture the flag, or the intelligence, which works the same with special delivery. The goal is the RCBot will fetch the enemy's intelligence and capture it back to the base. To be sure that you want the specific team to get the specific intelligence and to go to the specific point, you need to have a special types of waypoints for each side, meaning you will have to have 2 waypoints in red and 2 waypoints in blue. So one of them is title for the capture and one title for the flag. Flag is about where the team can get the intelligence, where capture is where to capture the intelligence. So you have to place the no blue team and the no red team to make sure that the specific team do their specific jobs. A special behavior that doesn't work in the current version is the demo man used to have an ability to place sticky at the intelligence room, so when an enemy grabs the intelligence, it detonates right away. Moving on with the special delivery, which is similar to capture the flag. The only difference is, instead of having 2 waypoints, you only need one for each. One for the flag only, and one for the capture only. So meaning both teams can capture the flag and have to reach to the same spot to capture the point. In both capture the flag and special delivery game mode, there is also a special behavior that RCBot do. When one of the enemy who carries the intelligence dies, it will give an attention to the enemy team that to go defend that spot so the intelligence doesn't get taken back.
The Australium is ready for pickup.
The control point maps. There are 2 variations, and I'll just talk about the first one for now. This one is about the 5 CPs, which are required for each team to capture every single one of them in orders, starting by the middle towards to the enemy teams. It works like Day of Defeat Source with territorial control, except for this one, the last points are locked until they capture the one beforehand. The RCBot have 2 different behavior into the capture point of the 5 CP maps, which either it is defend or attack. So you can see, for example, here we have some RCBot that stand still and or use sentries or sniper waypoint to defend their actual points instead of attacking. The area type is important to make sure that the RCBot does not defend or attack the wrong points. An important note about the CP with the 5 capture zone is the respawn rooms. If you capture further points, your respawn moves from a point to another one. Like if you capture the 4th point, you will respawn into the middle, meaning if the point isn't captured and a flag is connected to the 3rd respawn room, gotta make sure it is one way pointed so they can't go inside, but they can get out from it, or at least in certain area only. Now we're talking about the second variation of the CP, which is also the same with payload. Now this one is attack defend, which means blue team will attack and secure all of the red points, while the red points need to defend all of its points. It worked the same way as the normal CP, but instead, red only focus on defend. Meaning, the area type is important here. So, if you want the red team to defend A points, you gotta make sure the area type is set to 1, especially for the defend, waypoint, sniper, sentries, to make sure that RCBot focus on the first point. There is no special behavior for these situations, it's just blue attacking and red defending. And yes, payload work the same way. It's the very same as attack defense, instead you're just pushing a card. So meaning, the defense and the area type are still important. But in the attack defense capture point and the payload, there are also notes that we need to think of that are in some specific maps.
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
Such as some of the respawn rooms are tied for the red team, but once the blue team capture a point, the red spawn will become blue spawn. So we gotta make sure it is owner type only or area only to make sure that the red or the blue don't try to get in while it's not theirs. Another special notes, which is only on certain maps as well, are the interconnection maps, when some CP or payload have a specific zone to capture 2 points, and once captured, they go to a new area. And since it's all interconnected, some fence or walls will block the previous zone, so to avoid the players or bots to go back. Area only is also important for that. Another mechanic that works mostly in CP, attack defense, and payload are locked doors that only opens or shut down after a specific point that is captured. So like this one. These doors are locked and area types are behind them to make sure that if the first point is captured, they can go forward there. Man versus machine. The RCBots requires 2 specific waypoints that to make them work correctly, which is flag and capture. That will allow the RCBot to know where the bomb carrier starts and where they have to capture. With the flag on, the RCBot will know to get to the defense spot by the flags, which is nearby. While the robots are carrying the bomb and dies, the RCBot will behave like in Capture the Flag or Special Delivery, which when the bomb drops down on the ground, the RCBot will stand on top of it and guard it to make sure that no robots can nearby. And if the bomb is nearby the capture points, if they are defended by the capture, they will use them instead.
Alert! The bomb is almost... Alert! If they deploy the bomb, all is lost!
Manpower is literally capture of the flag, but with a special twist, with power-ups around the maps, and you have the grappling hook too. The RCBot can play, but only on certain maps. And you can make them use the ability to get some power-ups at the same time. There's only 4 official maps, but if you ever go with the custom community maps, make sure if you want RCBot to work, they have to be on maps that they can at least reach to the intelligence room and go back to the capture zone. Otherwise, it's gonna be impossible for them since they don't know how to use a hook. Past map, the soccer map. This was an experiment for the RCBot, which is still not perfect. Since this is an experiment, the waypoints that makes it work, you have to put some sort of a defend where the ball will be appearing. Since it works similar like capture the flag, the defenders could go defend the ball to get the ball. And then you add the flag point at the goal so they know where to put the ball at. It is not working 100% since the RCBot will always think that the flag waypoint is important. But this is why we are forcing the RCBot to get the ball first, by adding some special waypoints at the middle. Once they reach the goal, they will mostly like stop and hang there until they get killed or being attacked. The RCBot will not know that the ball is back to the middle, which is why it is recommended to play with a lot of bots so they won't just get stuck at each other's spawns. Of course, there is also another issue. 3 specific bots cannot play pass with the ball. The sniper, the medic, and the engineer. They're all mainly focused on their own objective. The engineer will focus on the buildings, the sniper will go to sniping spots, and the medic will be mostly focusing on healing. So when they have the ball, they don't know what to do. They are just doing whatever they are supposed to do first of all. So they are becoming useless and they're just wasting everyone's time. A last tip about the pass with the RCBot is that they cannot pass the ball, they cannot throw the ball, meaning the hoops for them is useless. As long as the goal can be reachable on foot, they can play the game. Robot Destruction was also an experimental RCBot waypoint, which is functionable, but not perfectly as well. When the RCBot meets a robot, they will try to kill it, which is the goal of the mission, and to collect the parts that come from it. The RCBot does not know where the parts location are. They will simply accidentally pick it up for having points. There is an issue. Since they know that the robots are what they require to get points, they will attack any type of robots, meaning they can go straight to B and C point even though A hasn't been killed. So they are wasting time, wasting ammunition on robots that cannot be killed. After a certain time, when points are collected, it becomes now an intelligence in the team's base, meaning the enemy team can now steal points back to their base. Works like capture the flag. Of course, since this is the only robot destruction in the official map, it makes things harder for the RCBot because of these lasers. But they are working. Player destruction. This is like an arena type of map, which everyone has to kill each other to get an item to pick up. The RCBot knows where, if they are nearby to a pickup item, they will go ahead and take it. The goal for this is to bring the pickup item to the capture zone, which only require a capture flag with the flag only to make sure that the RCBot who owns the pickups items will know where to put it. It is very simple, but it may not work for any kind of player destruction map because some may have some issues, such as we have a map which is Snowville Event that has 3 capture zones, and only one of the 3s will be available for deposit the point. The RCBot will not know which point is to capture. They will just try one of the 3s and just hope they get the points. Another map, which is Selbium, which has the seal, which is an actual moving capture zone. The RCBot cannot stand still on the capture point, so you'll have to manually try to force the RCBot to take the seals or the movement of the capture zone.
Mission begins in 10
Payload
seconds.
race and tug of war works the same way.
5,
Since payload race is basically payload, but with both teams having their own cards, it plays pretty much easily. It's just both teams are like attacking instead of attack defense. The only thing that requires the capture waypoint. Nothing else is required much for making them to work. For the special behaviors, the RCBots will either attack by pushing with the cards, or they can also defend the cards. Sometimes they will stand by the enemies and will guard them to make sure that it doesn't get pushed. Meanwhile, in Tug of Wars, it works the same way. It's just instead of a payload card, it's a whole platform that you must stay on top of it. The only tips I could give for these kinds of maps is to make sure to have waypoints that could get to the payload or the card accessible in case they go through a wall or unreachable spot. Territorial control, which is literally control point game mode, except with zones. It requires two major special waypoints flag. The first one is owner only. Since this has multiple zones, the team who owns the capture points owns the spawn room, so owner only should be added to the resupply or other special waypoints inside to make sure it's for them only. Make sure that the special waypoints has the same area type of the capture zone to work. Then we have doors or some platform that disappear, which only opens or close depending the new battle zone that is required. So meaning the opens later must be between the doors where they are shut down. And same for way ground for the platform that disappears. Versus Saxton Hill, which works literally the same as Arena game mode. At first the RCBot will run around, try to kill, and after a certain time they will go to the points. There are a few points about this game mode that must be acknowledged. First of all is the health pickups. Saxton Hill must have the no blue team on them to make sure that they ignore it, or depending on the map, if Hell is on the red team, then it's gonna have to be no red team. You can still remove the capture flag and just let them move around freely. That makes more like of a cat and mouse chase game. If you let the capture waypoint zone, all the RCBot will try to capture it after a certain time. But it can be an issue for the RCBots because they will all group up on the point, while if Saxton Hill comes, he'll just blow them all away. The spy has a special behavior in this game mode, which is he will never use the disguise kit since it's useless against the Saxton Hill. And he used the cloak ability only if he is not one of the last remaining survivors. Once the mini-crit is given to the fewest player, if a spy has it, the cloak is permanently removed. The RCBot Saxton Hill does not play the character correctly, since they just follow the pathway waypoints. They will not achieve what a human player can do. So I'll talk about his abilities. The sweeping charge, he will just instantly click it, instead of charging in and charge away. The Saxton Punch, they will just use it automatically when close by the enemy. The Mighty Slam, it will rarely be used, but it will only happen if it's way high in midair and has the crouch ability if it's like nearby of a jump or a crouch waypoint. The Brave Jump, which is a double jump, well, he doesn't know about this one either. It will only happen if it's a nearby jump waypoint and he is in midair. Zombie Infection. The RCBot will go towards the location and will stand on that spot to defend the area. To do that, you'll have to force to make them go to a certain pathway and then have a one-way pathway to make sure that they don't come back to wander around.
3, 2, 1.
And once they're in their spots, they will try to defend for the entirety of the round. But that is only my way of making Zombie Infection. In this game mode, the spy has the same behavior as in the Saxton Hill map. It will not use any disguise kit since it's useless, and they will cloak only if they are not one of the last standing. When they are the last standing, the cloak will be disabled for him. As for the zombies, they will use their special abilities if they are close by. The medic will use his healings. The soldier will leap in the air. The pyro will use a fireball against the enemy. The spy will yell to alert his teammates. The demo man will kamikaze himself if they are nearby. The sniper will spit, but he takes a while before he actually spits since he holds the button. And the engineer will throw a pipe bomb, and the pipe bomb will be even against the human, not just on buildings. It's all about close range, so if he is close to the enemy, they will do their abilities. And this concludes the video about the game mode behavior and how to waypoint these maps. Part 5 will be about community maps, plugins, and small tips, and probably other info which I may have not talked about. This will be the final episode for the tutorial. I really hope this helped a lot of the people who wants to learn more about the RCBot. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.